We are live. Let me select the stream. Yeah, market opening live with way too high. I'm not seeing it on my shit. I am not seeing it. Do I have multiple output I need to start? Oh, you do? Alright, well, I click start anyway on the multi. You do see it, you said? On my channel? Ah, there it is. There it is. There it is. All right. I'm going to go ahead. I see it. I'm going to go ahead and give it a like. And I'm going to put in some keywords. If anybody is watching, which nobody is, so I'm going to put in the keywords. Get everybody up in there. I can hear you. Well, wait a minute. I might have to turn your audio on. Let's see here. Oh, that might be the one I had one turned off. Let's see. Window capture. Can you hear yourself yet? You hearing yourself yet? I'm hearing you all day. Yeah. Oh wait, you were at 10%, so maybe I should crank you up a little. Let's see here. And there's all that fucking noise. Alright, I put you at mono and it seems to have helped. There is someone else watching. Can anybody hear way too high down there at the bottom? Speak, Thomas. Give us a speech. We had to figure that. So you can hear me on the live stream? Because I can't hear me on the live stream that I've got set up over here. We were just rocked with technical difficulties. All right. How about now? Listen to all that feedback, baby. Desktop audio off. Help. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on here. I had to turn my. Well, I mean, I can't hear a damn thing on the live stream. Can anybody else hear a damn thing on the live stream itself? Like, I know you can hear me through the Discord, but I can't seem. Like, I can't hear shit on the live stream. So, what I'm going to attempt here is, let's test out the news.
Rule on whether or not we will see these tariff refunds. But Danny, keep in mind, under the IEEPA tariffs alone, just this subset of tariffs, the U.S. government took in $133 billion last year.
So the other thing on the administration's agenda is this proclamation President Trump gave, 10 to 15 days for Iran to come to the negotiating table for some sort of deal. Where do conversations stand at this moment? Because there was that Axios op-ed this week that really had people concerned that we're heading towards some sort of larger conflict.
So when you ask the White House, officials will always tell you that every option remains on the table. That's what we repeatedly hear, but we have to put some context behind this, right?
Could you hear the browser? On the live stream. I couldn't hear anything on the live stream itself. Like, I got it open on my tablet so I can monitor it. Huh. Well, let me save that. Alright, let's see. Okay, apparently it's my tablet that's being stupid because I can hear me on the phone just fine. Well, let's save that. Alright, let's see. Now, can we hear you? Okay, apparently it's my tablet that's being stupid because I can hear me on the phone just fine. See. Now, can we hear you? Okay, apparently it's my tablet that's being stupid because I can hear me on the phone just fine. I do believe that you are the window capture. Boom. I do believe that you are the window capture. I just turned it on, so let's see. I do believe that you are the window capture. I just turned it on, so let's see. I vaguely, yeah, I did hear you. All right, I just got it. It would help if I cranked you up a little bit. So let's put you to 75%. Now you should be nice and fucking loud and interfering. I vaguely, yeah, I did hear you. All right, I just got it. It would help if I cranked you up a little bit. So, all right, get rid of that. Yeah, there's a nasty shit in my ear. I don't know if you can hear that, but all right. So now we should be able to hear you just fine. No, I am not sure at all. Sorry for the delay, but we still have 8 minutes till market opening, so we are doing this for the first time. So I think that's okay. Sorry for the delay, but we still have 8 minutes till market opening, so we are doing this for the first time. So I think. So give me a speech there, Thomas. Okay. I don't know how, if I don't know if you're coming through. It's probably a conflict with the what do you call it? All right. Well, why don't we go in and check on what old Bloomberg is having to say while I dick around a little bit with this.
Companies were getting sold. As a matter of fact, they acquired Whole Foods, and what that ended up happening is Walmart, Kroger, all these companies got crushed, right? And reality, 10 years later, is that we have not all just started shopping at Amazon for our groceries. We still go to grocery stores, and those stocks are up like 4 or 5 times from those lows. Same thing happened at industrial distribution. So I think for us as investors, we need to look at what is the proprietary thing that the company is doing.
Figure I should turn her down. She had one loud. Oh. Yes. In fact, I will. Let's take a look at Bitcoin now. 66,966. Total market cap has been eating it. Total market cap has been eating lots of turds since 5:30 this morning. Looks like we lost, what's that? Like $100 million. That's not much. So it's not really eating too much. I could shorten that one up a little bit there. But Bitcoin, and then Ethereum. Got the S&P. Got the NASDAQ. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Bang, whoops. Alright, let me get out of here. Back to the stock heat map. Yeah, silver has been picking up a pretty good bit, which that's good. It was last night, if you see where I'm circling, last night when that hit, I jumped on a live stream, and a lot of people, I had like 100 people join within about an hour, and I was talking to plenty of people. We're going to go ahead and set a goal. We're going to set a goal of 10 super chats in an hour. All the colors. Wink. There we go. Goal started. Oh, did you now? Oh, do you now? Yeah. Das ist gut. Okay. Connect my encoder. No. Hey, I see lots of 100s. All right. All right. Right. Well, there have been 6 people who have come to visit, and ba-ding, ba-ding, ba-ding. My computer makes these ba-ding. Say what? Oh, you're seeing my video? Yeah, that's yeah, they I signed up for Plus, which on crypto.com, Plus gives you the luxury of zero trading fees for the first $20,000 every month. Well, at $10,000, once I spent $10,000, the fees started back. So now it's been, about 8 weeks, 9 weeks since I started a ticket with them, and they're still researching my account. And every time I talk to them, I'm like, you guys are full of shit. It doesn't take this long. You hit a couple buttons, you give me my fees back. But you don't want to, so you're stringing me along. So I told them I was going to make a video and put it on YouTube. And they don't seem to care. And something similar happened with my son. Something similar happened with my son. And they strung him along for a year. A year. And they're still saying they're researching it. Like, really? You incompetent retards. Oh yeah, I told Chris I would share a link to the stream. In fact, I think I should just go ahead and share it everywhere. I'm going to share it with Mike Roddy. You know, a lot of my videos lately are doing way better on Rumble than they are here on YouTube. So the next time we do this, I'm going to do a live stream on Rumble. Because, like, even when I just stream a basic Bitcoin chart, it gets like 100 views in a couple hours. Whereas on YouTube, here lately, it's been like 5 or 10. So the next time we do this, I'm going to do a live stream when I just stream a basic Bitcoin chart, it gets like 100 views in a couple hours. Whereas on YouTube... All right, market's open, or about to be. Let's check out the heat map. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of red. Seeing lots of red. All right. Whew. Yeah. It's maybe not. I don't know. Let's see where Bloomberg is. This is Bloomberg. See what they're saying. Yeah, have you heard about Blue Owl? Ha! They'll tell you about it in a second. They halted withdrawals of people's money. That's the main thing that they did. But there's a lot going on with them, and I do believe you should probably pay attention. That doesn't sound like it. Let's see what Yahoo's saying. Oh! NVIDIA. Yeah, very vertically integrated, yeah. Very vertical. Yeah, you're a big loser. Your mom's a big loser. That's a lot of red. That's a lot of red. If anybody has any, things they'd like me to pull up and look at in particular, yeah, put it in the chat. We got a goal going. Let's see what everybody wants to see. I can pull up anything. I'm currently spamming the hell out of this stream on X. The Blue Owl stuff is quite interesting. I will well, let's see what the other guy's saying. Yeah, I know what you got to take. Shit. Yeah, they're the AI bubble. That's what this is all about. Because there's a weird cycle of money going on, which is tied into this Blue Owl thing. That I will pull up information. I'm researching it right now. I'll pull up some information and tell everybody all about it in a second. But doesn't seem like either one of these jerks is talking about it. Ha. Yeah, every time somebody says loser, we should like take a shot or take a drink. Well, you see, Theo, sometimes I need some cash. There's that word again. I want to be horizontally integrated, huh? Explain that one there, smart guy. Whoa. Yeah, slow down there, turkey. Well, I could put it on double speed. You know, like put reality on double speed. Now, I wonder what the rules are for putting someone else's YouTube video up. Isn't there fair use? Can I pull up Kevin and put like a video of his up, or what is? Yeah, I don't know if I can do that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. All right. So Blue Owl basically has restricted investor withdrawals from their private credit fund, and it's affecting lots of other stocks that are involved. Shares of the biggest private investment managers on Wall Street rumbled on Thursday after Blue Owl permanently restricted investors from exiting a debt fund for retail investors, sending shivers through the industry. The sell-off is the latest to rock the fast-growing private credit market, which has drawn in hundreds of billions of dollars of investor capital in recent years and minted new power players on Wall Street. Ares Management, Apollo Global Management, KKR, Blackstone, and TPG all closed lower on Thursday in a sign that investors were recalibrating expectations of profitability for the fast-growing private credit business. Shares of Blue Owl, which announced this restriction on Wednesday, dropped by almost 6%. It sure did. So, the fund that halted investor redemptions, known as Blue Owl Capital Corp. 2, called off a merger last year. That was the biggest catalyst, I think, from all this. Is they had a terrible merger. They called off this merger with a larger publicly traded credit fund that managed Blue Owl. That deal had drawn critical investor attention after the FT reported that investors in the fund faced losses of 20% based on the acquiring fund's trading price at the time. So private investment groups have been buffeted by mounting pressures in recent months, including an uptick in redemption requests at many of their flagship credit funds. Now that a BlackRock private credit fund has slashed the value of some of its investment holdings last month, as well as concerns that AI could threaten the business models of many of the companies private credit firms had lent to, has stymied investor enthusiasm for the industry, for the entire industry. Mohamed El-Erian, the former chief executive of bond giant PIMCO, questioned whether Blue Owl's move could further erode investor confidence in credit vehicles. The industry's so-called redemption features allows investors to pull their money at regular quarterly intervals, meaning that funds holding relatively hard-to-sell loans are vulnerable to changes in investor confidence. Many large credit funds have already seen investors begin pulling money at greater levels, the FT has reported, signaling mounting concern. Blue Owl has seen significant net redemptions at its Blue Owl Capital Corp. 2 vehicle and a separate technology income fund. However, most credit funds continue to draw net new assets. Is this a canary in the coal mine moment? Blue Owl's decision to end redemptions at its OBDC2 fund came as it sold off $600 million of its assets, or about a third of the entire fund. Wow. So they sold off a third of the fund and didn't let their investors pull out. The asset sale was part of a broader divestiture in which Blue Owl sold $1.4 billion in loans at 99.7% of their stated value. Analysts covering Blue Owl took those asset sales as a sign of confidence in the value of its loan portfolio, as the loans were purchased at fair value, marks of 99.7. We see the news as reinforcing the quality of marks across the Owl platform and perhaps reassuring investors that there are no cockroaches lurking in the portfolio. That I just read from Financial Times. So, that's not good, you see, Rudy? All right, well, let's see. Silver is making a run now. Looks like it just broke out of the top that it was trying to break out of. It would appear. Yep. It busted through the high there, which was 81.09. It's only busted through. About 20 cents. Looks like that quarter is giving silver a little bit of trouble. Bitcoin's making a little bit of a go. I would expect Ethereum to do the same thing. Let's see. Let me see if I can find Blue Owl in here. And let's listen to one of these jerks. Whoa! Look at that chart. Look at Blue Owl's chart. What the hell is that? The hell with it, Ron. Man, Blue Owl, that chart is wacky. Yeah, I don't know what that's all about, but that is wacky as hell. Even the RSI's screwed. Sure would love to go in and short it. It's only $10 a share. Oh, I might have to go drop a short. I'm not supposed to give away my my stock moves, am I? Is that a members only type thing where everybody does? Is that what everybody does? Yeah, I don't have any members either. I don't have anything to offer any members who would subscribe. That's why there's no memberships available here at Stellar Smartography. Ooh. Yep, and nope. Let's see what the shorts are running on Blue Owl. Here's your options to what you can do. Buy. That's it. You can't sell. You can't buy any options. What is up with that? All you can do is buy shares? Excuse me? Yeah, I don't think so. Well, there's the other Blue Owl Capital, and yeah, the puts are puts pretty cheap. In fact, yeah. Well, this account, my brokerage account, is screwed right now because of silver last couple of weeks. Yeah, I've got, you know, what once was about $2,000 is about $100 now. My, oh yeah, I had some Palantir calls, Nvidia calls, SLV calls. They've all just shit the bed. But I bought them. I bought some SLV calls when it was in the green. I was in the money. It was a $91 call. I bought it when it was over. When it was near 100, and paid $1,500 for that. It's now worth $1, expiring today. So unless silver runs up to $120 right now, that's going to expire worthless today. Yeah, it might. Well, looks like a lot of the red died down. We're not doing too bad today. Oh yeah, Walmart. I have heard that Walmart had been doing something, but yeah, Blue Owl's pretty funny. All right. Yeah. Mr. Chris Doogie just donated $2. Thank you, sir. Let's see, what is silver doing? Silver is climbing. Well, the silver futures is climbing. Looks like we're at about $81.68. It's on a little bit of a tear. Place your bets. Place your bets. Let me see if I can just pull up just a silver chart instead of the silver futures chart, because you see, Rudy Theo, I could probably pull up SLV, but let's see here. Nope. I haven't really fully figured out how to navigate through what do you call it? Through Trading View. Let's see. Yeah, no, that's not what I need. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll just go over here because I know how to do this easier. Yeah, there we go. Silver would be, I would think it would be somewhere here. Let's see what all shows up for not for ilver. Silver. That should be a little more specific. SLV. Let's see what they're doing. Whew. Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. Yeah, the silver futures is going to be the closest there. Mr. Chris Doogie, thank you for the donation. And yeah, 81.70 for the futures, which I do believe is pretty close to the actual spot value. Anybody care to explain what the difference between value and price is? Well, the price is what it's trading at. The price, when the price is low, it is undervalued. Value is what you see in the markets with the premium attached to it. Like right now, if you go and try and buy a 1 troy ounce silver American Eagle, you're not going to find it for much less than $110, $120 right now. And then the price of silver, the difference between the price, the actual price of spot silver, and that premium cost of that 110, 120 that I just mentioned, that disparity is what determines its next move. Really, when there's more than a 20% disparity, you can expect it to run up soon. But the closer those numbers get to each other, the more it's going to slow down. And of course, there is no resistance in sight. That the only resistance you're going to see is going to be emotional resistance. You know, there's not enough data in this area for there to be any real resistances. And the support levels that you see on the little blue right here, that's like literally based on the fly just now of what it did when it started fucking trickling right here. They were like, that's a support, when it could technically just plow right through it. Moving on up. I wish I had some audio to play for that, but I don't think I can get a copyright for singing it. I think it has something to do with your mother, but I'm not quite sure. Well, I mean, yeah, it's got a little bit going on. Same with ETH. They're about identical. Total market cap of crypto has risen slightly since market open. Not very much. Not much of note. But you know what I'm curious to see? I'm curious to see what gold is doing, because there are some people that are trying to act like the top is in. Well, looks like gold's running up too. Gold's sitting at 500. Let's see here. Because I want to leave gold there. I do believe we can just check out regular old silver. You saw gold they made it real easy. But you type in silver And it's just insane. There's all kinds of silver this and silver that. I want just the silver, baby. Jesus Christ. Ah, okay. What's this? 50 grams. 50 grams. I don't know what that increment is. Oh, the Swiss franc. Yeah, no. That's not quite what we're looking at. What? Silver International, huh? For what? Per gram? Who's buying grams of silver? What the hell is this? Well, Silver International is not what we're going for. Ah, there it is. Boom. Silver per ounce. Yeah. It's about the same as the futures. Yeah. The future says 81.94 and the futures 81.78. So there's not much difference. I mean, look, the chart's identical. Look at that. Because it's futures! Duh! Thank you, Mr. Chris Doogie, for your donation. That's 1 out of 10 of our goal. Hey, I got a donation for you right here. Let's see. That's too many bips. I'll help you out. I've got a new thingamabob I'm going to put up on the screen. Bink. Woo! What the?
Unraveling complex global developments and what they mean for Indian business. Tune in to
Yeah. No. Did you hear all that? You didn't hear any? Really? Well, that's good. Because you sure as hell could see it, and I sure as hell heard it. But I did not put the ability to control the audio in OBS, so boom. we're going to do that and bring it down. What the hell? Yeah, no kidding. 3. Boom. Control the audio. Boom. Right. There we go.
Co-presenting partner, HDFC Securities, powering India's investments.
New global business news channel.
Wonder why
Your
I
new
can't hear that
destination
one
for
now.
global business and market insights. Tune in to CNBC TV 18 Prime.
Can you hear that?
Is America's post-game show.
Basically, near all-time highs against the S&P.
Every single story that we pick is a tie back to the markets.
Those sort of revenue streams don't trade at a great multiple.
We want to arm people with the information to make great decisions.
Stock got whacked. I get it. People say they overpaid. I get that.
Fast Money is all about the chemistry. We've been
Okay.
successful for this
Well,
long
I don't
because we're a
understand.
team.
I got perfect audio with that. Turn it off and on, and I don't have.
Presenting partner,
I guess maybe it just
HDFC
won't let me
Securities,
control
powering India's
more than
investments.
2. So, we're going to get that out of here. Are there any stocks anybody would like me to look at? What's that? Nobody's in the room to even hear me? Maybe if I put my sunglasses on, it'll draw more people in, huh? So, I got my other 2 hats in the mail. And yeah, one of them's just like the one that I gave you. And the other one, I don't like. Oh yeah, there it is. Whoops. Now, AIPA. Bitcoin running up because of it. Silver dying. A whole dollar. It's your fault. Always. Doesn't mean he won't do it. We have a gangster. We have a gangster in office. I'm fine with it. Aipa. Andale, andale. Your mom will take quite a while. Dude, a whole bunch of money jumped into the market cap of crypto. Crypto's moving pretty good. Look at this map. This map reminds me of Inception. Or not Inception. The Interstellar. This is all American companies. Heat map. See the Dow Jones. Woo! Silver's sucking it. Bitcoin and Ethereum doesn't know what it wants to do. Look at gold. Oh, damn. Wow. I mean, that's really not that much, but it looks bad. Look at that RSI. Long entry, my ass. This is one of those things that that'll be more affected later. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. You know what, man? You know, once, man, yeah, if you're trying to trade, don't pay attention to these signals right now, because these signals are based on normal movement, and this is not normal movement. This is reactionary from the tariff news that just came. So if you're seeing these trading signals, do not take them seriously. Not yet. Things need to normalize first. Because when you have news like that, and you have a catalyst that makes something pop, those signals don't know how to interpret that. They're not built, they're not programmed to take random acts the fuck into account. If that makes sense. But it looks like a lot of people just dumped a lot of cash into crypto. Look at that. Market cap had a little bounce. Yeah, and see, don't even pay attention to the short entry and long entry. I don't think you can even bet. Well, I'm sure you can bet somewhere, but I don't even think that there's an index anywhere that you can buy longs and shorts on the total market cap of crypto. But man, gold, silver. Gold's still coming down. Silver's making a little bit of a recovery. Or trying to, at least. You know what? I really want to go have a smoke. Should I leave some news on, or would you like to talk to the people? That's me. Yeah, he got what he needed. All right. I put the heat map on, and let's see. We'll put them both on. Yeah, I'm live right now, showing my face. Got Thomas on there too. Jump on a live stream and say hi. I told Ramsey to get in here. He takes a year to reply. I shall return, my good Boudreaux. I could do a companion stream and take it with me. I did that last night. Nobody cares. I had no viewers during, but people watched it later because then I said I was taking a dump in the stream. Watch me take a dump. Only on Discord. I will be listening from outside. Yeah, no. Can't hear a damn thing. Crank it up.
decision, and so people were wondering what was taking so long. Well, what's taking so long is it's 170 pages. So it's kind of difficult to get through and to figure out exactly what happened. But what happened during the oral arguments was that you have this statute, IEPA, that no other president has used to impose tariffs. And under this statute, there's a word called regulate. So how do you interpret regulate? Does that mean you can impose tariffs or not? And, you know, a lot of the justices, particularly the liberal justices, harped on the language of the statute. What does it mean? I mean, this is a court that's originalist, and they're trying to interpret all the time what the words of statute or the words of a constitution mean. So they were looking at this and saying, you know, where do you get the authority in this statute to impose tariffs? And it was pretty obvious during the oral arguments that there were enough votes, particularly the Chief Justice. And the Chief Justice wrote this opinion. And I'll just note that when I predicted that, because whenever there's a big opinion that he's in the center, he writes it. He wrote the Supreme Court opinion giving President Trump limited presidential authority to be, let's say, I'm trying to think of the right word, not to be prosecuted for criminal acts committed in office. He wrote that one. He's written like all the very, very big opinions. So when we heard what he said in the oral arguments, it was pretty obvious what was going to happen. And it's just a question of why it took so long. And I think Justice Jackson had said last week that in an interview that there are nuances to this. So, and we won't be able to see the nuances until we get through some of this.
Yes.
170 pages. 170 pages. I mean, there are concurrences and partial concurrences. It's really, it's messy, I'd say.
It's messy, and that's exactly how Brett Kavanaugh, one of the dissenting justices, described the refund process. It was likely to be a mess, as was acknowledged at oral argument. Is it surprising then that the justices did not address the extent to which importers are entitled to refunds, that it's just basically kicking it back to the lower courts?
Well, I think what the justices try to do is write as narrow an opinion as they possibly can. So why get into an area they really don't have to get into? And that, as you say, there's a lot of, it's going to be messy. And so I think that's the way this court operates. They don't want to rule on something that they don't have to rule on. And here they did a ruling on tariffs, a week before the president is going to make his State of the Union address. That's why I didn't think it was going to come down today. We were talking about it in the newsroom and why would they do that? And then they're going to sit there. Is he going to say something about it? He probably will say something about it while they're sitting there. A lot of them will be sitting there. The chief always goes.
Oh, I see you're saying at
they'll be at the State of the Union. The chief always goes. Elena Kagan goes. Usually Sotomayor goes. Alito hasn't gone since Barack Obama said something about Citizens United, and Alito was shaking his head back and forth. So he hasn't been there, but maybe he'll be there for this. I don't know. Justice Gorsuch has gone. Justice Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett. So a lot of them do go. So it'll be interesting to watch and to see whether any statements are made from the president about that, and whether there's any shaking of heads. So I was wrong about that, and I admit it. So this came as a surprise this morning, even though the decision itself, what they didn't come as a surprise.
Yeah, if anything, this makes the State of the Union address that much more interesting.
Yes.
To see how it all shakes out, the body language, not just what President Trump will say, because I'm sure he'll probably say something even before his address next week.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll certainly.
Given this is the signature economic policy that he has really defined his administration.
Right. He's been talking about how the Supreme Court, several times he said the Supreme Court has to rule in the right way on this. So, and he's always been, because they were much in his favor on the emergency docket, he's been very complimentary about the court. But we'll see what happens. I doubt that's going to last.
President's social media output here today. June Grasso, thank you so much. We appreciate it. June Grasso, Bloomberg Law host here, joining us here for this momentous decision here. The U.S. Supreme Court struck down President Donald Trump's sweeping global tariffs, undercutting his significant economic policy and delivering his biggest legal defeat since he returned to the White House.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
There are some winners and losers off the reactions, and as you said, Julie, I think the instincts were right. We're seeing some good
to impose tariffs under.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Has had a massive effect. Has had a massive effect so far. It looks like our good friend Hunter is in. Yeah. Mr. Hunter, we are, as you can see in the chat, we are running a goal. Are there any stocks you'd like us to take a look at? Myself and Sir Thomas. Where's that salt packet? Ooh, yeah. Product placement. Yeah, I'll tag you later, Pretzilla. It came with a big old thing of mutard. Mutard dipping, baby. Yeah. Welcome to the live stream. Let's take a look at the heat map. Right now, the market is reacting to Trump's tariffs being struck down by the Supreme Court. Comment what you think. And if you want us to take a look at any particular stocks, take a look at the chat. And notice that we have set a goal. If we reach 10 total of that goal, I will make a prediction. And guess what? I got some inside knowledge. The prediction will be about silver. Because I know. Oh, I know. I had been down to do my analyzing, you know. I'm sorry, Hunter, I can't hear you without I'm just kidding. Nvidia is down less than 1%. It's not really doing much. Let's take a look at the chart, though, just because you're such a nice guy. Looks like it's got some serious wicks on its candles. Yeah, I mean it's all over the place, right? Because this news with Blue Owl is affecting Nvidia. Big time. Look at that. That's insane. The 18th, that was 2 days ago. So we're looking at 2 days worth of stuff here. Let's draw it out a little bit. From midnight yesterday, and oh, that's 24 hours-ish, right? No, that's about 24 hours-ish. Yeah, Nvidia is moving a little bit. You can buy or sell some of those bounces if you want. But I think the real focus, look at that, silver took a $1 hit. But that gold, shit man, gold took a whole $40 hit. And it's, yeah, nothing. That's nothing. It looks like a big deal, but it's really nothing. I mean, the market seems vastly unfazed by this news. But it was breaking, so perhaps they haven't had time to react yet. But the people would be the first to react. Google's up. They sure are. I've got proof.
Whether they're going to strike all his tariff powers down or not. This is one specific law and dealing with the question only of whether Congress gave the president the ability to tariff as part of the declaration of an international economic emergency. The court essentially rules that the words regulate importation in the law doesn't give the president the ability to effectively tax any of that.
Traditional independent voters that we were concerned with, but also young male and Hispanic voters who have driven the president to the second term. So a lot to see here.
And it's not just American stocks that are benefiting. Looking at, for instance, LVMH and Hennessy in Europe climbing on the news of
Look at that. Look at that. The total market cap in crypto lost everything that it was put into it and then some. It looks like somebody taking a lot of profit. And now it's stepping back up. Moves like that, those are institutional. So some institution bought a whole bunch in and then sold a bunch out at a profit. How much profit? Wow, a lot. And then it looks like maybe now they're dollar cost averaging back in. I'm guessing. Yeah, again, do not pay attention to the trading signals when looking at things like a total market cap. You cannot go short or long on the total market cap. Not on any exchange I'm aware of, at least. Should have invested in Bitcoin 15 years ago. Had you dropped $1,000 into Bitcoin 15 years ago, it would currently be worth over $1 billion right now. Dumbass. I remember hearing about Bitcoin in 2009, 8, 9, something like that, and thinking to myself, sounds cool. Could be a scam. So I said, nah. Plus, they didn't have any exchanges back then, so it wasn't exactly very easy to acquire. There were literally no exchanges for it. The only way you could buy it was like you needed to know a little bit of computer programming and probably needed to use the Tor browser to do it. Because it was from using the Tor browser I even learned about it. And very soon the Silk Road popped up and the rest is history. Gold still eating it. Bitcoin trying, as with Ethereum. Silver is penising around a little bit. Let's see what these talking heads are up to. I think he's saying he can't hear you. I think Hunter says he can't hear you. I don't know that anybody else. I don't know that anybody else can hear you. I've tried. Let's see. The window capture. Yeah, all I get is feedback. I'm not sure. Let's see if I can make some adjustments, you see, Rudy Theo. Oh. Hey. Output device. Windows default. Show more. Speak, Sir Thomas.
Speaking is for people that know how to do that.
Well, there it is. I can pick you up on my computer speakers, and it'll come through my microphone. So speak again. And Hunter, tell me if you can hear him. Tomas?
I'm not really sure why that works that way, but I mean, if it works that way, it works that way, I guess.
I imagine Thomas is very quiet, though. I got volume cranked up. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I do know. It's because conflicts and devices and... Hunter! Can you hear him, Hunter?
I can barely hear myself on well.
Oh, yeah? I don't know why it generates feedback when I turn the audio on, but it's not now because I shifted it. Oh, I shifted it, you see. There it goes again. Shut up. Oh, yeah. Speak again. I just jacked up the volume.
Just jacked up the volume. It's all juicy and tan and whatnot.
There it is. Yes, Hunter. Yeah, yes, Hunter asked if I'm an OBS. Yes, Hunter, OBS.
Don't mistake the pod. Don't mistake that there's more than a trailing risk today. That the Iranians may shoot off more in response and not be proportional as they were in June.
Terry, is it? It looks like, it seems like that the president is considering this strike because of the nuclear discussions with Iran as a way to force Iran's hand.
Do it. Turn the entire Middle East into glass.
And before, for that particular purpose, I don't mean with Iran. I just mean in general. It feels like something different.
All of it.
Yeah, it's unprecedented in the sense that you're looking at a second or third ranked power with that's trying to get nuclear capability, and a major power is dissuading. It is. Certainly kind of west versus non-west. It's unprecedented. I could make a lot of arguments that this is the kind of thing China does with North Korea, by the way, holding them back. But it's unprecedented in that sense. It's not unprecedented in the sense that United States allies, even Gulf allies, have worked together in the past.
Never a good thing. But from a monetary policy perspective, I don't think this changes things very much at all. Certainly if, some tariffs have to get repaid, I think one of the questions is how do they get repaid and to who, right? Because ultimately the consumer takes on some of the, at least some of the price increases due to tariffs. So I'm not really sure how people get, refunds because of the tax repayment or tariff repayment.
Oh! What?
Hunter. Of course you can't hear me. So.
Well, you can hear. I'm sure you can hear him now because I've got the microphone right up next to my speakers for this, but because that seems like the only way I can make it happen.
Nah, that's not the only way.
Well, I'm on the fly here, so. No noise suppression. Automatic gain control off. Background system audio input processing. Attenuation. Run your mouth, Thomas.
I'm gonna run your whole head. Run it down the street.
Ooh, woo.
Tie it behind my car. Maybe I'll throw it into Stencil's window.
Stencil. What a jerk.
He is a very, very big brown jerk, yes.
That is true. There's a lot of brown there.
Going on with the flight to quality bid, for example,
Yeah.
that you saw in the last couple of weeks from falling commodity prices, falling equity prices.
Ira Jersey, thank you so much for jumping on right away and giving us your instant analysis. He is our chief U.S. interest rate strategist here at Bloomberg Intelligence. We should note that the president has responded. According to Caitlin Collins of CNN, who tweeted out or posted on social media, President Trump commented on the Supreme Court ruling striking down his tariffs while inside the White House breakfast with governors this morning, calling it a, quote, disgrace, I'm told. He told those gathered that he has a backup plan. Again, that is according to Caitlin Collins, reporter at CNN. The president calling the ruling against his tariffs a disgrace, Paul.
Yeah, no surprise there. And we'll see. I guess we were talking.
Yeah, Hunter, he's low because I had to reroute his feed through my computer speakers because it wouldn't come through for some reason in OBS. And then I took my microphone and put it right next to my computer speakers. And that is how we are currently hearing Thomas. But when Thomas speaks, everyone needs to shut the hell up. Hey, check it out. That was a rising microphone. Ibana joke. And I'm trying to stabilize this here microphone so I don't have to, like, yeah, there we go. Well, so it looks like gold and silver both had a quick nuke reaction, and then decided, you know what, we really don't care. We're going back up. But there's some serious wicks on those candles. Nvidia doing a whole lot of sideways crap. I mean, I'm not seeing much noteworthy movement anywhere. Looks like
a whole lot going on.
No, not at all. Looks like Walmart is one of the biggest losers and Google is one of the biggest wieners. But let's see, that's just on market cap. Let's go by volume. Right, okay, yeah, yeah. Price. I mean, I'm seeing a mostly gray today. Looks like a little more green than red. Not much volume in the market at all today either. There's something funky going on with the market here lately. And I've been wanting to talk about this with somebody, but I don't know, man. Something stinks, like something big is about to happen. And we can just simplify and say it's bad.
Something seems bad, yeah.
We only need we only need 9 more super chats, and I will make a prediction that will make you money. Guaranteed. Not financial advice.
Guaranteed. Not guaranteed.
Let's see what the heads is saying.
For the administration's arguments, I mean, you have.
Huh?
I think they want you to hear.
Statute to issue tariffs that the court was not going to go along with it. It has to be a very clear delegation on tariffs, and it wasn't there. And they found that there was no mention of tariffs in the statute, that it didn't provide the president with authorization. So in effect, I mean, this was almost a textbook classic interpretation of how the Constitution works and should work. And finally, we've gotten the Supreme Court to basically come down on an issue where they have said that Donald Trump has overstepped his constitutional bounds.
Now, Nick, I haven't had a chance.
Shut up.
They're looking at the Constitution, granting tax powers to Congress, and saying we have a statute that doesn't.
I got your Constitution right here.
Background. We find that the statute doesn't.
Right there at the bottom.
Huh?
So where do I sign? Right there at the bottom.
Yep. Actually, right here. That's where you sign.
Might hurt.
Have you ever had Old Trapper jerky? Old Trapper jerky. Delicious and hot and spicy and yummy.
And expensive. Don't forget expensive.
This bag was at Walmart. It was $11. And it's 10 ounces. So it was really not that bad. This same size bag, I bought at a gas station a year or two ago. $20. So $11 at Walmart, pretty damn good. Wow. Serious delay. On the live stream to my left here, I just now stood up and said, right here.
There's quite a delay, yes.
That's all right. All right. I just now got an alert on my phone saying that Trump's tariff struck down. Yeah, way ahead of you. Let's see what these jerks are saying.
I mean, I think there's kind of two dimensions here in terms of.
Well, there's 14 dimensions, dumbass.
One is with respect to tariff refunds and whether importers are owed tariffs. And the second is, what does the administration do next? What is the U.S. tariff policy in light of this opinion? And the administration has been laying the groundwork, I'm sure, behind.
You know what? This is just an excuse so they don't have to give us that dividend. It's all a big ruse so they don't have to give us no cash.
But
I know, I like cash. I know, I love cash. Comment below if you like cash.
That significantly, at least in the near term, I think they're going to be ready.
Yeah, see you later there, cunter.
To backfill and replace the IEEPA tariffs.
All right, Dave, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Dave Townsend, he's a partner with Dorsey and Whitney, giving us his thoughts on the legal side of this case. And, of course, June Grasso, legal analyst for Bloomberg, joining us as well. All right, let's get back to these markets, get a little bit of a reset here. We'll head down to Washington, D.C. to Nathan Hayden.
Well, investors haven't quite reset how they're reacting to this momentous Supreme Court decision striking down President Trump's tariffs. Paul, investors initially responded with a big surge in the market, but now it's pulling back just a bit. Investors
silver.
Weigh some of the ramifications here and whether President Trump.
Silver is now above where it was before that announcement.
That the president told governors this morning the ruling was a disgrace and that he does have a backup plan. Right now, the S&P 500 is up 0.5%. The Dow
Gold is not, though.
percent higher. The Nasdaq Composite leading the gain. European stocks after this ruling are trading in record territory. The stock 600 up 0.75%, right around 630. As investors think about how they're going to react to this, Oppenheimer chief investment strategist John Stoltzfus says the Supreme Court ruling isn't changing his stock outlook.
This has to be baked in and then considered what will actually happen, and it will take a while for this to take effect. And then the response is likely to see, with the current administration, the tariffs likely to remain using.
There's the European market. But that is all European Union companies. We can narrow that down a bit, I do believe. That's a lot of companies. It's a lot of money. Let's do the Euro Stocks 50 index. And damn, there's literally like no red. Interesting.
What do you mean they're better than us?
What country's stocks would you be interested in seeing? Drop it in the chat. Oh, Canada. Canada's mostly red and black, but we knew that already. Let's check out. Let's see if Thailand even has a stock market. I would assume they do. Every developed nation should. Thailand. All Thai companies. Ouch! Wow. Very interesting. Let's see what China is doing. The Shenzhen Component Index. Damn, China's sucking it. Ouch. Well, they should be doing well since the tariffs were struck down, right? That should be good. That should be good for them. Damn. That's a lot of red. For those of us just joining, that's the Chinese market. Let's see what our good friend. Yeah, let's see what our good friend Japan is doing. Ouch!
They're fine.
Oh yeah.
All red. Everything's red. All red all the time.
Ah, Hong Kong, China. Yeah, a whole lot of dick. You know what I want to see? I want to see what Iran is doing. I don't even see. You know it's there. Huh? Indonesia, Ireland. It should be right there. No Iranian stock market? Are you kidding me? Well, I guess it would just be one stock, right? It'd be goat. Goat and dirt. That's their stock market.
Ouch.
Yeah. I'm telling you, we need to turn the entire Middle East into fucking glass. All of them. All of it. Not siding with the Palestinians. I'm not siding with Israel. None of them. All of them. Glass. Comment below if you'd like to see that. See what Israel's doing.
Just murdering people.
They look largely unfazed or doing well. S&P 500 is doing just fine. We're back in America. Nasdaq's doing all right. The Dow Jones Composite suited Dow Jones Industrial. It's very small. Dow Jones is doing fine. Transportation, huh? Interesting. I'm going to invest in Uber.
They're kind of in some hot water.
Shout out the Russell 2000. Whoa! That definitely reminds me of Interstellar, the bookshelves. Much like this does more, though. Ooh. Yeah, this one right here is funny. If it would hurry up, what's the problem? Silver bouncing. Silver's doing great. Well, a little snafu from the mention of them tariffs, and that's it. Bitcoin. Look, Bitcoin dropped, and then somebody said, you know what, I don't care. And it went back up, and then they were like, oh, yeah, I do. And it went back down. And now they're like, I don't care again. The same with ETH.
Sometimes you care.
Gold still hasn't recovered, but silver more than has. I'm telling you, silver's a much better investment than gold. It really is. You know, both are used in our electronics, but being that silver is just cheaper, it's easier. It's easier to invest in, for one. The thing about silver, though, is just historically, the moves have been bigger. Gold moves around in like $100 range for the day. Out of a $5,000 total value, that's what, 2%? Is that right? Yeah, it's like 2%. If silver moves 2%, that's $2. That's nothing. Silver runs $10 in a day, $20 in a day now. Sometimes, well, now that it's up higher, but before, silver could run $5 in a day. On a percentage basis, that was way higher or way better of a move than with gold. So you stand to make more money, no matter which direction you're betting on. Nvidia pumping. Wonder why. Oh, I know why. Probably because all the things they need are overseas. So no tariffs. Good. Let's see if it'll blast through that resistance right there. What do you think? What do you think? Place your bets now.
Video? Yeah, it will.
Blast right through that resistance. Sure wish I had some money to capitalize on all this, but no! I had to lose $70,000.
Gonna have to.
Thing is, I lost most of that before we even left the house. Isn't that some shit? Like, what? What?
Yes, that is pretty retarded.
I'll be the first to admit it. I don't even really know how it happened. I mean, I do, but I don't. That first week, though, was phenomenal. It did great. I was placing all kinds of good bets, winning every one of them. I was like 20 or 30 grand up. And then, BANG!
Whoops.
It's not fair. But it's okay. It's all right. At least somebody's donating to the needy people on Wall Street.
Real needy.
Well, as the Brits would say, I'm going to go have a fag. Thomas, would you like to keep the people entertained? Or should I put on what should I leave on? So the heat map and some news.
Yeah.
One piece of shit. All U.S. companies. This is the entire market. This is not the NASDAQ. It's not the Dow Jones. This is everything. All of it! Which one should I leave on?
What do you mean?
S&P 500, NASDAQ, Russell 2000, Dow Jones.
Just put on the Dow. That's what everyone really cares about.
Well, the S&P is the Standard & Poor. That's the one with all the tech in it. But the Dow Jones Industrial is very small. Retail, trade, finance, electronic tech, producer, manufacturing, energy, miners, health, consumer non-durables, health technology, consumer services, communications, and something. The S&P, electronic services, technology, retail, trade, health, utilities, transportation, consumer durables, food services. There's a lot more on the Standard & Poor. Do you want me to leave it on the Dow Jones, you said?
Yeah.
I'm sensing it doesn't matter. And would you like me to leave on Bloomberg or Yahoo?
That definitely doesn't matter.
Add up.
All right, you want to listen to a white woman or a black man?
They're both insufferable.
Policy adventures from this White House now that we have this legal setback from the Supreme Court?
So, hear what they're talking
Holding
about.
it. They don't need to worry about this stuff right now. It's just if you were actively trading Bitcoin or other crypto in 2025, right?
What?
Well said. That's exactly right.
Okay, just to make sure that people know that. Anything else here that's top of mind in this tax season when it comes to the digital assets?
Yes, Mary. Cash.
Yeah, I think that there's a few things. One, really quickly, I think this is a time now where wash sale rules and tax loss harvesting, I think folks need to learn a lot about that there's still some lack of knowledge there amongst fiduciaries. The economic
there's that word.
doctrine, as we spoke about last time that I was on with you. So I think understanding that also got to get a little bit into the cryptolese here, that when you pay for your transactions with crypto, you create a new taxable lot.
Look at all the money coming back into crypto, bro. Look at the market cap running.
Fee with Ethereum, for instance, the gas fee, you've created a new taxable lot. Try explaining that to your CPA.
Tyrone, it's always great to catch up with you. Thank you so much.
Dude,
absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Approximately $150 billion has come into the crypto market since 8:30 this morning in the last 2 hours. That's a lot. And those big jumps right there, that's like $100 billion jump that left the market, or went into the market and then left. So somebody dropped $100-something billion into crypto and then took it out. And since that candle's bigger, I can only assume that they made a profit of that much right there. And then they were like, you know what? Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Bang! And then back on up we go. The money just keeps on coming in. That bodes well for crypto, baby. In fact, look at the total market cap. And look at the Bitcoin chart versus the total market cap. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. Now when compared to ETH, it's exactly the same. Not exactly, but a little more of a disparity there. Looks like silver has recovered and gold has not. That's just Me too. Wish I could. Right. I'm going to go have that fag outside. You know, a cigarette. That's what the British people call it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Do what you do. Hey, my 3 little futures contracts are up about $3.50. Do what you do. I shall return, good people of YouTube land. Oh no, I have forgot. Y'all need to hear something.
I think you're also starting to see, right now it's only Republicans who are sort of leaving office. Thom Tillis is the most prominent example of people who are just sort of saying, enough is enough. I cannot swallow this anymore. But they're not the...
That's enough of that. Doesn't look like Yahoo wants to do much.
Saved Donald Trump from himself a little bit because these tariffs were not popular. And striking them down might actually help him a little bit in public opinion, depending again upon how he reacts to it. I think we're all waiting for the next Truth Social post with bated breath.
We certainly are, and we should mention that Caitlin Collins of CNN did send out a social media post saying that President Trump called it a disgrace, the Supreme Court ruling, and reportedly told the governors at the White House breakfast with governors that he has a backup plan. Gotham, what does this mean for companies that have been having to pony up the money for tariffs and now, because the tariffs are ruled illegal, have the possibility of maybe clawing them back if we move in that direction? How do they make decisions? How do they move forward with any kind of planning? How do they think through what their next year, 2 years, 3 years looks like?
I mean, that has been the central question of every kind of corporate decision-making since the day Donald Trump returned to office. The level of uncertainty is high, and it's going to keep getting higher because this is not an administration that seems to have a back-down mode. My guess would be that the refunds and things like that will be handled by the lawyers, and if you get it, you get it, and if you don't, well, that is not, in some sense, that is not a decision that companies have an ability to influence. They should try to get the money back. Whether they'll succeed or not, I have no idea. What they have to worry much more about, I think, is what will the next step be? Because there will certainly be a lashing out. And does that mean that companies that have thought they had gained exemptions or thought they had stable windows to trade are going to lose that? They might.
All right, Gotham, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Gotham Mukunda, lecturer at the Yale School of Management and a Bloomberg opinion contributor. Scarlett, I think about what Brenda Murray says. I mean, this is a win for free trade, folks, but it is going to reintroduce another level of uncertainty into just trade in general. And companies, once again, saying, we're not really sure what the playing field is here. So that could be, in the short term, problematic.
Absolutely. And we've seen what it did to their forecast for the full year, for the upcoming quarter during earnings season. They had to hedge a lot because they weren't able to give any kind of clear-cut guidance. It also creates a lot of uncertainty for other nations. Countries that were negotiating trade deals with the U.S. Maybe came to an agreement but have not finalized it completely and signed it. I mean, this kind of throws everything up in the air.
And the markets seem to like it right here. The S&P is up 0.6%, particularly the tech stocks. If you look at the NASDAQ, up 1.14%. So we'll get an angle on how the technology industry may view this Supreme Court case. We'll check in with Dan Ives in just a moment at Wedbush Securities to get his thoughts on this ruling. Right now, let's head back down to Washington, D.C. Nathan Avery's got a Bloomberg Business Flash for us.
Yeah, Paul, it's brought to you by Golden Crest Metals. Inflation, tariffs, and volatility have some investors turning to gold for stability. To get a free gold and silver info guide and learn how to add metals to your IRA or 401k tax and penalty free, go to goldencrestmetals.com/guide. That's goldencrestmetals.com/guide. The Supreme Court's rejection of President Trump's tariffs has investors piling into stocks right now. We check the markets for you all day long here on Bloomberg, so right to it. The S&P 500 is up 45 points, a gain of 0.6%. trading above 6,900 for the S&P level. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 0.25%, up 110 points. The tech-heavy NASDAQ Composite is leading the gains, up 1.1%, up 246 points. The Supreme Court ruling is taking some attention off fourth quarter GDP that came in much weaker than expected, actually, 1.4% on a record-long government shutdown. Scott Ladner is Chief Investment Officer at Ladner Investments.
There's not a whole lot to take out of this report because, we had a government shutdown. GDP came in light largely because of that government shutdown. Nobody really knew how much of GDP was going to take out. Looks like it's about a percentage point or so was due to the shutdown. But at the end of the day, this is still like a consumer that is spending money. Consumption was fine. It was down a bit, but it was generally fine. But at the end of the day, we're going to get back to earnings. Like we're pretty much through earnings season.
Right now, of course, the focus is on how the rejection of the tariffs will affect markets. Right now, retail names with a lot of manufacturing in Southeast Asia are catching a bid. Looking at Lululemon, it's up 1.1%. Abercrombie & Fitch up 1.5%. Victoria's Secret is higher by 2.8%. Right now, 6 of the 11 main industry groups in the S&P 500 are on the rise, led by communication services up nearly 3%. Consumer discretionary is up 1.2%. 10-year Treasury now down 6/32. The yield is up about 2.5 basis points to 4.09%. Yield on the 2-year, 3.47%. Oil is still trading near a 6-month high, with President Trump saying he's not ruling out a limited strike on Iran. Right now, West Texas Intermediate is down 0.2%, just shy of $66 a barrel. COMEX gold up 1.3% at $5,061.90 per ounce. Paramount Skydance says it has cleared the Justice Department's last regulatory hurdle in its proposed $77.9 billion takeover of Warner Brothers Discovery. But there is that one big hurdle, the fact that Warner's has already signed a deal with Netflix to sell its studios and streaming business for $72 billion. Paramount Skydance right now down 1%. Netflix up 1.4%. For on-demand news 24 hours a day, subscribe to Bloomberg News Now, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Nathan Hager. That's your Bloomberg Business Flash. Scarlett and Paul.
Thank you so much, Nathan Hagar in Washington, D.C. All right, as Nathan pointed out, markets are on the move following the Supreme Court's rejection of President Trump's tariffs, and we see equities in the green right now with the NASDAQ leading the way. The NASDAQ Composite Index up 1.1%. By the way, bonds are lower. That is pushing yields higher. So I do want to bring in Dan Ives. Dan, of course, is the noted analyst, the global head of technology research at Wedbush Securities, to get his take on what we're seeing in tech and whether, Dan, this SCOTUS ruling is kind of just risk on for the market overall, and that means a big lift for the biggest part of the stock market, tech, or whether this is specifically good news for tech companies.
Yeah, this is specific good news for tech companies because of the supply chain. Because the biggest worry is that tariffs, what that could do in terms of the data center build out, AI build out, chips, everything that we're seeing with China. Look, there's going to be other ways that they're going to try to go around this 232, Section 301. The reality is it's a huge blow to the tariff policy, and it's very bullish for tech coming out of the gates. That's going to be the initial take.
So, Dan, it's been, a little more than roughly a year that all companies have been dealing with this tariff uncertainty. How have the technology companies who do have a global supply chain, rely a lot on parts of Asia, how have they kind of adjusted here?
Look, Apple has moved a lot to India. Others have, had to make significant investments in the U.S. and also look to diversify their supply chain. But as we've talked about a lot on the show, the vast majority of the supply chain will continue to be cemented in Asia. And where you had companies starting to look at diversification, increase cost, was this going to potentially, impact the supply chain? That's off the table now. And that's something, look, big tech companies, what they'll say publicly, behind closed doors, there's a huge sense of relief right now because of this.
Interesting. Given that so many of the big tech CEOs have really aligned themselves with the president, what does this mean for the big chip makers that are outside the United States, the TSMCs, the Samsung Electronics of the world?
It's extreme positive for them because, when you think about each of them, the question there was, how is that going to impact them from a policy perspective, from a tariff in terms of coming into the U.S.? And then you start to think about manufacturing. You'll continue to have some manufacturing move to the U.S. But this is actually going to put the brakes on some of the policies that some of these tech players had. Look, there's going to be Section 232, Section 301. There will be other areas that go about it. But for big tech, supply chain, chip players, memory players, it's a clear positive. There's no way to really go against that thesis.
Dan, your world has been rocked over the last several weeks by AI and the impact some people are speculating it may have on certain parts of the marketplace, including software companies, particularly software.
All right. I think I'm going to switch it up a little bit.
Current thinking as you talk to investors these days.
I'm going to...
Yeah, I mean, Paul, I'm calling it the AI ghost trade.
I'm going to find some other news, huh?
Because the view that this is going to massively disrupt software. It's going to massively disrupt cybersecurity. And I've talked about it. It's the opposite. I think it's the most disconnected trade that I've seen in my career on Wall Street in terms of what's happened to software stocks now. But again, like we talk about, fighting a ghost, there's going to be like boxes that are checked. Whether it's OpenAI and the $100 billion, there's Venmo earning next week, whether it's Apple on AI, whether it's circular financing, software companies showing monetization. This is going to happen. But right now you're fighting a ghost, and the bears are loving it. But again, that will be short-lived in my opinion.
That might be the case in the equity market, but we're seeing private credit, leverage loans really come under pressure because of all those loans to a lot of software companies, many of which don't have investment-grade ratings. Is credit driving the concerns in the equity market? What's leading what, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, look, if you look at Blue Owl, right, I mean, obviously there's some concerns there, but then on the other hand, look at Apollo and others. So I think if you look relative to some
of these hard-hit sectors,
like the credit market's telling you, it's still very healthy from a credit perspective. But no different than we saw with banks a few years ago, Silicon Valley Bank and others. There's going to be hypersensitivity to anything that happens here. But the reality is that these companies have more cash than a lot of countries when you actually go through it. The point is, like, they're going to continue to do. But look, it's like if there's 5 people trading CDS instruments to Oracle in their basement.
Project activity has been very strong. Those are the data centers. All the hospitals under construction around the country. Every airport around the country is under construction. So it's been a really mixed demand picture. But I think in 2026, we are going to see those small projects start to pick up as interest rates have started to come down. And we've also seen used equipment inventories start to decline and pricing at those used equipment auctions start to go up. And what that indicates, I think, is a tightening supply picture and demand running ahead of supply. Heavy equipment.
Why aren't they making
items.
any noise?
And so what that's going to allow United Rentals to do and Herc Rentals to do is get a little bit more pricing power on their rentals. And I think that's good news for those companies, of course.
Okay.
And then now this morning you can throw on top of that this tariff ruling, which investors were afraid would raise the prices for those heavy equipment items, many of which are made with steel imported from other countries. So I think the picture is really industry and construction, non-residential construction.
Yeah, I'm getting very frustrated with my sound here
as always. Jed Ellerbrook, portfolio manager at Argent Capital Management. And we've got plenty more for you today on Trading 360. Next, of course, we've got the big 3 coming your way. 3 stocks, 3 charts, 3 trades.
What's the problem?
For the technicals, Tim Bowen will be joining us to take us through the trades for Applied Materials, SanDisk, and RTX. That's next on Trading 360 on Schwab Network.
Advanced audio properties. Oh, well, that might help. Here we go. Boom.
From the most iconic trading floor in the world, this is Opening Bell with Nicole Petalides, live on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. The countdown, the setups, the stories that make markets move. Minute-by-minute breakdown of the biggest headlines, earnings, and global movers. Just the trades that matter. As the bell hits and the markets react in real time, Opening Bell, live at the NYSE, right when it counts.
Hurry up! Shut up!
Aw, she's got your smile, Carl.
Yeah, she's got my mute too.
$1 billion in cash on hand. They can use $100 billion or so of that to repay the tariffs, and then
I'm trying to find some decent noose.
Time using treasury bills. So from a broad market impact, it's not really going to affect things. And keep in mind, the treasury bill, the elasticity of demand for treasury bills is actually quite high. So, you know,
I got one.
Where typically we have very high T-bill issuance because people get tax refunds from their everyday taxes, and sometimes the change.
I got one. You know what? I'm gonna put old Kevin up. He just made a video, and we are going to react to Kevin Pathrath's new video about what just happened with Donald Trump and his Supreme Court shit.
Ultimately, the IEEPA statute was about regulation of imports, not about tariffing of imports. And if Congress had intended for it to be about tariffing of imports, it would have said so explicitly. And because it did not, therefore, the president does not have the power to interpret this law in such a broad way as he did.
The IEEPA tariffs are dead. What does this mean for your money? Is this bullish? What uncertainty is going to come out of this? What does this do with the numbers, the data we got in our economy this morning? How should you respond? What stocks might do well? What might do poorly? We're going to hit it all in this video. First things first, the Emergency Economic Powers Act tariffs are dead. I am extremely grateful for this. I think tariffs are a stupid idea. Why do I think that? I'm just going to give you the facts. 85 to 95% of tariff costs are borne by people in the United States. This is per the Federal Reserve and institutional banks such as Goldman, UBS, Deutsche Bank. We know that tariffs were a middle finger to our allies, Canada, Mexico, Europeans, folks.
That was the whole point.
Korea, you name it. These are allies whom we should be calling on to aid us in our geopolitical quest against China and Russia. We shouldn't be giving them the middle finger. We shouldn't give Canadians a reason not to come to American ski resorts because they're pissed about our economic policies. In addition to that, tariffs create cronyism. They create the opportunity for people to dial Donald Trump and say, hey man, you know, if I give you a present, you know, a beautiful like gold trophy like the CEO of Apple did, you think you can get us some exemptions to some of these tariffs? And then, wow, what a surprise, Apple gets exempted. In 2018, they gave Donald Trump new computers. Like, here, have them for free. Anything to make you love us. That's crony capitalism.
It is.
Your ability to succeed in America should not be predicated on your ability to contact people in the Department of Justice or Donald Trump's office. Because that's exactly what's happening. You look at, for example, what's happening at the top of the Department of Justice, you got Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi's husband happens to be an attorney who helps people get off of their federal criminal indictment cases, like the fraud we all know from Nikola, Trevor Milton. Wow. All of a sudden, you hire Brad Bondi, and your case gets dropped by the Department of Justice, and you get a pardon. Wow. That's not how our country should operate. Full stop. In addition to that, tariffs obviously create inflationary pressures on consumers. And even if that inflationary pressure is transitory, like the Federal Reserve is trying to argue again, which is really reminiscent of 2021 and gives me serious concerns about the Federal Reserve's ability to prepare for what's coming in our economy.
You are not prepared.
Inflationary pressures, even if they only last for a year, are enough to delay the Federal Reserve's rate cut policies, which is problematic because the labor market is walking on the edge of glory or death. There's really no mincing words here. The labor market has plenty of indications it's about to fall off a cliff. We're just waiting for a few extra layoffs, and we can't absorb those layoffs. On the other hand, we're hoping it will rebound. Tariffs can help that rebound occur by tariffs disappearing. The problem is we're not certain that tariffs will be gone. We now have to, and I hate saying this, and no, it's not reminding you that the Meet Kevin coupon code expires today. No, instead it's actually pitching what I really hate to pitch, but you basically now have to go download Truth Social. You have to go turn on notifications for Donald Trump. And no, I'm not even pitching the Meet Kevin app. I'm pitching Donald Trump's app. But you got to go turn on notifications, so you got to hit his little bell up here. You got to turn on notifications, and you got to see what his reaction function is, because his reaction function is going to tell you what happens next, okay? I have created a template for what I believe happens next, because Donald Trump does have some tools for increasing uncertainty and unfortunately bringing some tariffs back. And yes, that is different from baby come back. That's the coupon code for the Reinvest AI or the Meet Kevin course. We were talking about all these tariffs this morning in our course member live stream, because while we're doing a fundamental analysis, all of a sudden the tariffs drop on a 6-3 decision, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be really interesting. But anyway, take a look at the scenarios here. So scenario number 1 is Donald Trump folds. Okay, now why would Donald Trump fold? Because of midterms. It would be politically smart for Donald Trump to fold. It would be politically smart. Imagine Donald Trump using these words. Ready? Well, I disagree with the Supreme Court, but I respect the law of the land. I will immediately be asking Congress
Shut up!
to pass tariffs, the greatest tariffs ever to make America great again. In the meantime, we will defer to Congress.
Shut up!
By what the Supreme Court says. Okay, if you hear that, buy. Buy.
Boy.
Not like and saying, just buy stocks, anything hardware, frankly. Restoration Hardware, Target, Apple. My favorite out of these, probably Axon. Okay, all of these right now at the top of the list over here, pretty much green, except for Apple because it's flat, because they have exemptions. So Apple, it's less clear of a beneficiary here, but Restoration Hardware popped on this, Axon popped on this, Ubiquity popped on this, Shopify popped on this, Target popped on this, but keep in mind, some of the pop is going to fade as we reject 607 over here on the NASDAQ 100. Why? Because of the uncertainty factor. That's why you got to turn on notifications to Truth Social. Hate to say it. I'd rather you turn on notifications to the Meet Kevin app, but you got to have them on for Truth Social on this one, all right? He's going to be faster than me.
Shut up!
The second scenario is that Donald Trump fades tariffs. This is what I call cautionarily bullish, and I think there's a 45% chance, because Donald Trump's ego is too big to say, I respect the Supreme Court. I think there's a greater chance that he's going to bag on the Supreme Court and then say, I'll let you know what I decide in the future. That scenario is not ideal, because it's a way of Donald Trump saying, we're going to figure out how to bring tariffs back. And it'll keep people on the lookout. It'll keep people on edge. It won't be cleanly bullish. But I think there's a chance that tariffs just fade into the background. We focus on Iran, and we just don't get another Liberation Day. That would be best case scenario. That it does, well, I mean, best case scenario is he just folds right away. 25% chance. Next best case scenario is he just lets them fade into the background. Worst case scenario is we impose Section 122 temporary authority to tariff other countries up to 15%. That's going to lead stocks down, bond yields up, Fed rate cuts canceled. Worst case scenario for our economy. How do we reconcile this with GDP that came in half as good as expectations this morning? Came in at 1.4% versus 2.8% expected.
Woo!
Core PCE inflation, personal consumption expenditure inflation, Fed's preferred inflation gauge, came in higher than expected. Not good. Inflation bad. Keeps the Fed tighter on rates, while at the same time GDP is coming in lower than expected. Wow. What does that sound like? Stagflation is back. Okay? That could mean gold up, though.
Oh, that's
we get
bad.
stagflation fears, gold goes up, baby. So, worst case scenario again, Trump comes out and says, we're immediately imposing Section 122, temporary authority, 15% tariffs. Stocks down bad. Okay, that's a Liberation Day scenario. Then he's going to go, we are also applying for a 150-day application process for Section 232 and 301 tariffs by the Commerce Department. I think there's a 30% chance of this scenario, and it's the worst case scenario. Now, right now, I'm getting some newswire feeds here. The European Union says we advocate for lower tariffs and to work together with the United States on reducing them. We will advise. We're analyzing this ruling, so they're excited. The UK government just came back. This is a matter for the U.S. to determine, but we will continue to support UK businesses. Under any scenario, we expect privileged trading position with the United States to continue. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. People are trying to sound nice about it. But all of this really depends on what is Donald Trump going to do next. I personally think the best thing that Donald Trump could do next is use that coupon code, Baby Come Back, and join to get all the trade alerts, all 9 courses, every private live stream, every alpha report, every course I've done on education over at meetkevin.com. Use that coupon code before it expires at 11:59 p.m. tonight. That said, understand this decision. 3 people ruled against killing tariffs: Kavanaugh, Thomas, and Alito. Wow, what a surprise. I keep this on my desk because it just shows me that the Supreme Court is not actually as neutral as maybe I thought during civics class in school. What a surprise. School didn't teach me reality. But as you can see, if you could get a good shot of this, that these Republican justices like Kavanaugh, Thomas, and Alito vote for Donald Trump policy 89 to 95% of the time. And obviously on the flip side, it's no surprise that people like Sotomayor vote 90% of the time for the Democratic position. So it does sort of make me wonder, at what point does the Supreme Court matter if it just ends up being a politicized position? But in fairness, I have to say, Roberts and Barrett vote for Donald Trump policies 74 to 79% of the time, and Kavanaugh 89% of the time. Oh, sorry, not Kavanaugh. It would be Gorsuch, 95% of the time. Gorsuch, 95% of the time. Barrett, 79%. Roberts, 74%. And all 3 of them voted against tariffs. That's surprising. So I think this is a win for America. This is a win for the entire world. This is fantastic. But unfortunately, you have to turn on notifications for Truth Social because there is a chance that Donald Trump is absolutely going to ruin it. Depending on obviously what he says on Truth Social. We'll be covering it so you can subscribe and follow.
Well, that's enough of that.
It's just going to send more money to these defense plays. So love this, both what they're doing and kind of around the geopolitical situation as well.
All right, Rick, so let's take a look at the technicals on RTX here. You know, Tim highlighted another uptrending stock, and as you always like to say, they can always go higher temporarily. Does it signal that we could continue going higher here for RTX?
Well, I mean, we made new intraday highs yesterday. We're on pace for a higher close above that point we saw yesterday as well here. But one thing that I would point out is that our rising wedge type shape has started to materialize here, where we do have a bit of more bearish bias toward this pattern. It's certainly not set in stone that it's going to break downward at all. That's not what I'm trying to say here. But what you...
All right. Well, you know, RTX,
focusing on next.
All right, Professor, thank you so much. We appreciate getting some of your time. Professor Jimmy Gurule, Professor of Law at Notre Dame Law School, and June Grosso, our legal analyst here at Bloomberg, helping us kind of get through some of this ruling here, the Supreme Court ruling, which strikes down President Trump's global tariffs, a 6-3 ruling. So we'll have...
All right. So that's pretty much going to be it for the day, I would assume, unless you've got something, Mr. Thomas.
Well, I've got something, but it's not YouTube friendly, so I can't.
I hear you. I have some sort of equivalent. But as a recap, looks like most of the money that left the crypto market at 5:30-ish this morning has come roaring back because likely because of these tariffs being struck down. Bitcoin is running up a little bit, as with Ethereum. Heat map's looking a little boring, mostly gray. I assume by the end of the day we'll start seeing more green, because I imagine most people are waiting for, you know, Trump's reaction, and if something else is going to change. I'm going to assume we're going to have some sort of maybe little small rally toward the end of the day. Gold still on the way up. Nvidia, looks like Nvidia bounced off of that resistance. Wasn't having it.
Oh.
And silver is still over $80. Now, since we did not reach our goal, I'm not going to be giving my prediction. Ha! But I think I may or may not come back for a market closing. I don't know. Just depends. I'll be keeping up with the news to see. Thomas, if you're interested, you can join in too if you like. But yeah, that's Friday. That's Friday for you. But I will definitely be back for a market opening on Monday. I do believe this is something I am going to continue to do because it's just so much fun. So yeah, everybody out there in YouTube land, have a good day. I will smell you later.